What's up, everyone? It's John over here. Welcome to It's Okay La, a weekly podcast. I would say we haven't missed a single week for the longest time. With me, John over here, and with two of my buddies that we have on my. I don't know. I'm looking at Eugene on my left, lah, huh? Eugene, and then on my right is Kenny. How you guys doing, man?
Man, okay.
All good as usual. Merdeka. If we me and Eugene, or maybe just me, appeared a bit like stone, is because I didn't hear the opening audio sequence.
Oh, you did not?
Maybe? I didn't hear it either.
I didn't.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't.
sorry.
Yeah. So just to
Because I mute you guys down so that if you guys were to talk, it doesn't record into the track, and then it plays the jingle, and then I push you guys back up. So I guess you didn't hear it that way.
so the mute goes both ways lah.
I guess so. How you guys doing, man? How's your Merdeka celebration today?
I did open up the Astro Awani feed to watch 10 seconds of the Merdeka rally. So
Right,
that's
the parade.
the parade. That's what's Merdeka parade. Apparently, I have a friend and also a neighbor who actually is in the rally. So that's nice. But I didn't catch him. Yeah, his company I think has a slot. I don't know how a company gets a slot or asks for a slot, but he's there. And then apparently my company also has got a spot there as well. Mercedes-Benz has got a car and something there, but I didn't see it. So yay for
You mean
the
they had a float or something, or what?
I don't think it's a float. I think they had a car in the rally itself. I don't think they will make a float or one of those like mechanisms. Actually, I should look for it. But
Maybe it was an
I mean,
EV. It wasn't charged properly, and then it doesn't go out. You don't see it in the rally.
it's not the EV that I'm going to get, but yeah, I see.
Speaking of which, I think
yeah,
we should route back to that thing.
We actually can.
Yeah, we can talk about that. But I am sure today, being Merdeka and Eugene, you're in Singapore, is almost indifferent for you. What happened if,
Yeah,
let's say, you have a Singapore car, right, and then you put a Malaysian flag on today? would that be weird? Driving around with a
Is it
Malaysian flag?
unusual? Got or not?
No, I've never seen anybody do it. But
Flag in Singapore or Malaysian car? Or,
I mean, but last time I don't know whether that would be. I mean, 31st August in Singapore doesn't mean anything. Well, this year it does lah, because tomorrow is like the presidential election day, right?
I was just say that. Yeah.
But
Okay.
can
on
also
a
talk about
regular-
that.
on a regular August. Yeah, on a regular August, it doesn't mean anything. So if you hung the Malaysian flag out your window, I don't know. But last time people have been would they? I don't know whether they were like apprehended or not by the law, because someone what they do here is that on the Singapore National Day on the 9th of August,
Uh-huh.
everybody will like hang the Singapore flag out their window as like a sign of like patriotism and all that. So I heard that some people like
Put
tried
Malaysia
once to
flag.
hang like I don't know, they didn't say what country.
Another country lah.
Another country. Then I don't know whether if they got in trouble for it with the law, because there is a law and it's about something like that. So
For
but
just that one day.
I don't know.
Then you better
But
not get caught
they-
for some silly reason like this, huh?
I mean, if it's not, I think if you're not being disrespectful, then yeah, I suppose it's okay.
I mean, you're not being
carry the-
disrespectful, right?
You
To
know?
Singapore, if you were
So
to
what
bear a
that person
Malaysian
did
flag.
was that. What that person did was that during the Singapore National Day thing, when everybody was hanging the Singapore flag, then the person hung a foreign flag. So it was a bit blatant lah. So
Right.
so
Yeah.
during that period, but if you did it any other time of the year, I don't know. Maybe it's fine, but yeah.
So like in the same way, if somebody does that in Malaysia, like the 2 or 3 weeks of the month prior and after Merdeka, and also en route towards Malaysia Day, it's so convenient. You got Merdeka and Malaysia Day with a 2-week gap, and you basically have got a holiday on the same day, and again 2 weeks later. There's the same day because it's exactly 14 days.
Right.
31st, 16. Well, it feels like it's almost the same lah. If somebody would have done that, like in Malaysia, hanging a different country's flag during this period,
Would they get in trouble?
I have no idea. I can't imagine it's a big deal, but
Depends on who
Yeah.
makes big deal of it, I guess. But if it's nobody will
Yeah.
care, I think. By the
Oh,
time.
I
depending
would
on
hope
which
nobody
country
cares.
flag you put on, right? If it's a sensitivity of a religion and the history of Malaysian being unfriendly to certain countries, I think that would be something to
Oh,
be
okay. That
very
would
off.
be depending on what flag. Yeah, depending on what flag, you may get like quite a
For
reaction.
sure, if
So
you
if
put
you
an
put the Singapore
LGBT
flag,
one, for sure cannot.
that one, that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
But you
More
put the
like-
Singapore flag during this period.
I don't know.
uh,
You know,
Can
Singapore
you
split from Malaysia, and then they're close.
can
But
you imagine?
I
Like,
don't
I
know.
mean, Singapore independence is also like very close. What was it in like earlier in August as well, right?
fifth
5th
Ninth,
August.
ninth,
9th?
9
ninth,
Okay, so
August.
9
August,
August. So imagine if you're in Malaysia, somewhere in Penang lah, and then you see this fella driving a, I don't know, a Tesla because he's like, quite
Singaporean.
wealthy Singaporean, right? And then he has a Singapore flag on top of
Flexing.
the bonnet, well, on the 9th
So on
of
August
August.
5th, August 9,
August 9.
Yeah,
Would people care
okay.
about it?
And August 9 is near enough, but not too near to August 31st.
I don't think
Yeah, no?
so.
Good question. How would that be?
I wouldn't care lah. But whether or not anybody will latch onto that and make a big deal out of it, I don't know.
Well,
Um,
I mean, don't do it. I guess if you want, I don't know, a free country, right? Apparently.
Yeah, and by the way, Tesla is not an expensive car. I mean, it's sort of expensive in Malaysia, but the prices are corrupted lah. No, corrupted is wrong. The prices are inflated here in
Inflated.
Singapore. So
In Singapore.
yeah, because
Well, COE
didn't
and
they
then,
announce that
and then
the-
some.
Yeah, didn't they announce that the Tesla Y in Malaysia will be like
199,000.
200,000 ringgit?
Yeah.
Base model.
Basically 200,000 ringgit.
Uh-huh.
But in Singapore, it's like 200,000 Sing.
Whoa.
So it's
Wait, wasn't that what you checked for
bonkers,
for the second hand, right? You were
yes,
checking that with me
so it's
earlier.
even more if you
Yeah,
like, hold
yeah.
on. Oh, awesome.
No, you wait.
Did the auntie bring that back for him?
It's just an electric toothbrush. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome because he's using it?
Yeah, because it's supposed to help him. Yeah.
That frame
Yeah,
that
but
we
anyway,
are
so-
at, right? All of us three, we couldn't see what
Couldn't
he
see.
was doing.
Or
Yeah,
even when my daughter came in.
Yeah, not even
Yeah,
your
good.
daughter came
Alright.
in. Yeah, it
Okay.
feels like
Yeah, so-
like in the frame, right?
Yeah, so you can't see this. You can't see this.
You cannot no longer see the lubricant.
Well,
If you
This
do
could
not know
be
what
loop
we're talking,
again.
go back to like episode
back
2
to
or
it.
3 or something,
I have a colleague in Germany who saw this and then he gives me a bit of a poke every now and then about it still.
Super
He
loop.
does. Yeah, because I said, I got a poke, and then I show him the episode list and say, where's the lube? And then he began to wonder what kind of podcast is this, and then he pokes at me. He's a funny guy lah, and I know it's all cool, but then he pokes at me on and off about it. Oh,
I think it's kind of cool though. I mean,
Hi, I'm Kane to
I-
interrupt this podcast. So I'm very cool and stuff. Bye.
good night.
good night.
Yeah, someone to be YouTube influenced.
Wow.
Yeah,
it-
you were saying. Go ahead.
well, I guess it's whatever we are speaking and everything. Maybe the interest is like here, but when we talk about where's the loop, it's gonna be here, simply because of the connotation
Clickbait.
of the suggestion of what we're talking about. Is like, you know.
So this episode will be called "Where's the Loop Again."
Where's the loop? Okay, where's the loop again? Where's the loop again?
Ah, Blink 182. I like that song. I kind of miss
What?
them.
No.
No,
That's
right?
not the
You just
exact
made it
lyrics.
up,
No.
okay.
There's not as in,
Oh my gosh.
not as in the actual
Right,
song.
Right.
Actually, the song so is a bit like alluding towards that also, but okay, never
I
mind.
mean, like quite a lot of the songs do that. So-
Okay. You were saying
Okay,
a Tesla in Singapore
Cars?
is $200,000 Sing.
more.
Yeah, so I can just look it up now.
And
So
that's-
the time when I was on the phone with Kenny,
Mm.
sgkarma.com.
And that's on
So
top of the
you can see-
COE.
No, that is already
With the
the
COE.
on-road price.
Ah,
On-road
I
price,
see.
lah, so to
Okay.
speak.
I mean,
No, but that was back then. So let me check now. So
you guys are slapped with the
Tesla
COE with
One.
just like 70, 80 grand already, So
No,
not
now
surprising.
the COE is even more. Now the COE is like, it's like for the Tesla Y and the Tesla 3, the COE is like 130,000,
Yeah, there
something
you
like that.
go. So in a
So
lot of
it's
ways,
bonkers.
if you minus off the COE, it's about the same price as a Malaysian Tesla. It's just that
Okay, so let me
on the
see.
road price is a
For
lot
the
more expensive.
performance all-wheel drive without COE, that's 184,000 Sing dollars.
Oh, without
Without COE. Without. So let's
this
check
is
price.
performance.
Performance all-wheel drive.
So it's the
highest
full,
tier
the
in
highest tier
Malaysia.
lah.
High spec one.
Yeah.
which is
spec one.
2.7 something in Malaysia, 2.79.
Okay, so let me just do a quick search for latest COE prices. Current category what? This one? Category
COE category, is it?
B is it? B, I think. Category B. It's 129,000. So 130,000, let's say. So 130,000 plus 184,000. Hey, it's bonkers.
Oh, that's your COE adding on to it, I guess. So
Yeah.
what? So 180,
So
180 over thousand. That's for the COE
180,000 is for the car alone.
alone.
without the
180
COE.
is on the car
So
alone.
then
Okay.
you add on the current COE prices, which fluctuates based on like demand. That's 130. So the total price of a Tesla Y performance all-wheel drive is 314,000.
That's a million
Sing
plus
dollars.
ringgit,
So it's
dude.
a million ringgit. So whereas what did Anwar say that day? The Tesla Y was how much? Was it Anwar? Who said?
What? 199, no?
Yeah, like 200,000. So basically,
Yeah.
it's like
A lot
it's
cheaper in
like
Malaysia.
50 something K, 50
Yeah.
something K Sing dollars.
Yeah.
We were like, huh?
Maybe we got a watered down Tesla. No, I do not know. So
Water
I'm
down
not
also
sure.
okay, right?
Instead of seeing
It's
seeing
still-
human
it's still-
in the cameras, or you see like monyets, I don't know.
maybe the instructions are in
Yes.
Melayu lah, The instructions are in Bahasa Malaysia. It's fine.
The instruction in Malaysia, okay, well, I mean that's to be well,
Yeah,
you
yeah, it's
localize
fine.
it, you
It's a
localize
language
it, so
option lah,
is yeah, that's good,
Yeah.
what, right? I don't know.
So I'm like, oh, then coming to Malaysia and buy.
Yeah, but then again, I guess I'm not sure why they bring it up because I didn't read about it, but I do know that when Tesla was Paro imported, it was close to 400,000 ringgit in Malaysia, and all these
Yeah, the APs
people,
and whatever, and yeah.
that's
That
running
is why-
second hand,
The route lah.
Yeah, which is when now those guys are like, oh crap, I have to like dump my stock or find a way to get rid of it as soon as possible because they're caught with the pants down basically lah.
yeah. So
Yeah, after
After
making
earning a lot of
good
money, correct? Yeah.
but then again, guys, 200,000 for a car is not to say the most affordable
quite a
ones.
lot lah. It's quite a lot lah, right?
A typical Malaysian car would be somewhere around like even say a Saga, which is close to about 40 grand, or if you even the Myvi nowadays it's close to about 50 grand. All right, so it's quite a bit.
So if you don't convert lah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Certainly.
Yeah, it's not an everyday man car lah, but when you convert it, it's an everyday man car in Singapore lah. But yeah.
Funnily, that somehow we talk about cars and then we went to electric cars, and then obviously we got to look at Kenny because Kenny is gonna be driving a electric car.
Electric car,
Is that
electrifying.
What EQA?
EQA, the smallest
EQA,
of the smallest of the electric cars in the
EQA what?
range of EQA 250, which is the only one that's
250.
available in Malaysia. And I was just looking up,
Alright, let's look it up.
well, I was looking up information and mostly watching a Paul Tan video, and
Right.
I actually forgot about this, or maybe I wasn't savvy to it, that the EQA 250 is actually the first EQ electric car that Mercedes-Benz in Malaysia launched. They didn't do it with the prior models which they tried launching elsewhere. And I think I was also aware that I mean, just from company information, they were releasing the first known electric car that the company had was actually called the EQC, and that is like a SUV at a C-class range level but SUV version. That was the first electric car that they had globally, but that didn't come out in Malaysia. And then there was other models, and then they chose to come to Malaysia with the EQA, the smallest of the electric SUVs.
So it is SUV.
Hey, how much
the
does it cost in
UK.
Singapore?
It's a SUV, correct? Yeah, the EQA, and even the guy from Portan, the stubby Malay fellow, he said exactly what I was also thinking, and many in the company are also saying, they have the EQ as the I think the correct word is the non-clementure or something like this. EQ for all the electric vehicles. The EQ A, B, and C, EQ A, B, C, these are all SUVs. When you go to the EQ E and EQS, those are sedans. That's how it came out. And then later on, they have plans, or they even announced already that there'll be a EQS SUV, just to differentiate that, or make the variant. So it's a little bit like you have to know from just the EQ A, B, C, E, and S whether it's a SUV or a sedan. It's like not as clear compared to the previous model codes lah. I hope they fix that.
Stand for? What does EQ stand for?
Electric
quality?
intelligence.
Quality?
Electric intelligence. I think, or it was a term that
In
came out much
German?
earlier.
In
No,
German?
it's actually I don't really think it. I don't. Maybe it's something in German. I'm a lousy stuff lah. Because I remember it was. They were like talking about, you have to be intelligent, and then the car has to be intelligent. So the car has IQ, and then it has to be electric, and then EQ came together. Although EQ would usually refer to emotional quotient, but they took the moniker. So yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't know what this EQ. I know the GL moniker stands for Geländewagen, which is German for like a SUV. German for like a off-road wagon or a bigger wagon. Like GL stands for Geländewagen.
Okay.
Yeah, GL Geländewagen thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, I should know otherwise, but I don't know what does the EQ stand for. Should I find out right now what does the EQ stand for? Well,
Emotional
EQ.
intelligence.
Yeah, emotional quotient.
qual-
Yeah, but EQ in EQ in
Geländewagen.
Mercedes-Benz stands for what?
Eugene, have you
Confused with
drove
us.
a electric car before?
Or set in one?
Was that?
Have you?
Or no, you're asking Eugene.
Yeah, I'm
Have
asking
drove or
Eugene
have
if
set
you
in one?
drove in
Oh,
an
me?
electric car. Yeah,
No, never.
I've said
So,
before in a
uh,
Tesla, so I mean never drove one.
Cool.
So what you're saying?
Is it mind blowing or
No, it's just another car.
right? I mean I did sit in one lah, but it was parked outside. It didn't move lah when I was in it, so I just went
Right.
like, oh, quite cool lah, big screen. And but yeah, I didn't. I am interested to see what it's like to drive. So when next time we come back, we're gonna hit yours, Kenny.
Yeah, you make sure you come back. While I still have the car. I mean, I actually had it for quite a while lah, but yeah.
Say, I can tell you how much it costs in Singapore.
Oh, please.
What
It's
is yours?
208
There
208
is-
EQA is 280k in Malaysia.
Okay, here. Okay, there is EQA 250 AMG. There's
Yeah,
EQA 250 plus AMG Premium.
How much should be the AMG, not the Plus Premium?
AMG lah. Okay.
Mm-mm.
So there's also a progressive and electric arts. I assume that I am
Mm.
assuming that is like not as high as AMG lah. So AMG is 275 Sing. Is this with or without COE?
Wow, dollar for dollar, man.
275. Is this with or without COE? I don't know. But the progressive and electric art is more expensive for 330 Sing. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. This EQA 250 AMG is parallel imported. That's cheaper. If you buy it directly from Cycle and Carriage, it is the AMG line is 348,000, 49,000.
Why is there a big difference between parallel import and
I don't know.
dealer? I mean,
I
like,
guess.
then what's the point? Then who would buy from Second Carriage, which is the only sole dealer in Singapore lah? Hey,
I mean,
am I right?
warranty
Am I right?
law,
Is it right that,
warranty
that in the whole of Singapore there's only one dealership and one outlet, or more?
I don't
I know there's one
Mm.
dealership. Only Second Carriage is the only is the only dealership there. I think I know that for a fact.
I mean,
but is there only how many
suppose-
outlets?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
But
Have you not noticed more
presumably
than
if you
one
buy-
outlets? Okay.
I don't know lah. Actually,
Okay.
I just know that if you want like the proper warranty and stuff, you want to go to Cycle and Carriage lah, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So if not, you're gonna say you wouldn't trust like some third party to like handle like your electric vehicle stuff lah. So yeah. Wow, very expensive, man.
No, cars are generally more expensive. Anyway.
Well, Mercedes is always on the top higher tier. Is it like
That is true, but just thinking nowadays, like I mean, even in the business strategy, so there's been this political like, there are more people now. The average age of somebody who can buy a Mercedes is getting younger and younger. Also, I don't know whether there's more younger rich people. So the it's definitely like skewing younger now lah. Hence, also the design also is looking less uncle.
what
Have you
affordable
heard of
luxury? I reckon you
It's in the affordable luxury range than the high. It's not a Lambo. It's not a Maserati.
It's a
It's not a
LV.
hypercar.
It's a LV,
I guess you
LV to a say I don't know
a
to
what's that B word one? Hermes, yeah, Hermes. Yeah. Maybe, I guess.
or a Prada even. I mean even Prada
Have
is
you
also
heard the
up
phrase?
there.
Have you heard the phrase? There's nothing more expensive than a used Mercedes.
Why
I'm trying
would
to
you say that?
comprehend that fact. Why
Yeah.
is it hard to maintain?
Yeah. So so basically
That rubber plastic versus thing, right? Or whatever.
one of the things like one of the
The v-
things. But basically there are a lot. When you buy a Mercedes, you pay like, let's say you pay like 100% of the price, right? And then after a second-hand price, it's significantly lower. So the second-hand price is like
That's the
the
reason
price
for
could
it.
drop like 70% of the price. So it's attractive for people who can't afford that 100% price lah. So a few years old, and then Mercedes tends to like keep their models around for quite a number of years. So you could buy like a older similar gen but older model, old second-hand one. Then but there is a phrase in like the second-hand car market that there's nothing more expensive than a second-hand than Mercedes. Than a
As
used
opposed to
Mercedes.
any other brands, like in the
No,
same
meaning
line,
that
like
if you are-
BMW or Audi.
Yeah, BMW also. So
Same law, I guess,
basically the
yeah.
idea is that if you're trying to get into buy the brand for cheap, don't do it. Because when you're out of warranty, the parts and replacements are super expensive.
Yeah, I can imagine. Also, by the way, EQ, at least it says in this article from in the US, as we learned earlier, the brand reports that EQ stands for emotion and intelligence. Emotion and intelligence. But more directly, Mercedes EQ is the electric vehicle design division of Mercedes-Benz. Yeah,
Okay.
so emotion and intelligence. So I remember there's something about emotion, about intelligence and electric. Emotion and intelligence. So the E, even though it's
But at least officially
they
they are electric, rather than emotions going into that soft
guess-
cell versus
I guess the E, they try to make it more intimate, and the E is still there, so it's somewhat there. So yeah, I'm gonna. Well, if everything goes well, and usually it does, I should be breaking my virginity to using a electric car. And I
That's a
say
weird way to put it.
and when I say that, it's because it's not just like, I gotta get a car and it runs electric. I mean, like, you gotta think about a few things about where the thing in the industry is called range anxiety. You have to think about how far can your battery last, and then you need to charge it where, and you may not be able to just charge it at home. Like my house, I mean, at home, if you do pull the cable to be able to charge in your front porch, it's usually really slow. And of course, like, residential power output or the grid is not built to carry that. You can get a bit more, like if you have 3-phase, but it's still a lot lesser compared to what you get when you go to those charging stations.
Supercharger.
Well, I don't think we have superchargers like Tesla's one is supposed to be like DC supercharger 100 kilowatts, I think, or something like that. So I was browsing the Park Easy app, which I will probably be my go-to app or solution to look for where can I go to park. I've identified a few malls near where I stay or near where I frequent. They've got like the older ones, like Sunway Pyramid, has got like 3.7 kilowatts, which apparently I calculated would take me 18 hours to fully charge the car.
3.7 kilowatts.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, 3.7.
How many hours? How many hours?
18,
well,
1/8.
I worked it backwards from 22 kilowatts, which would take 6 hours. I think that was the documentation. 22 kilowatts would take me 6 hours to fully charge. Then there are 11 kilowatts charging places, which are the newer places like Mega Rise is a fairly new mall. Then I think Atria also is like fairly new. Like Sunway is like much older. And I remember because I that's where I usually park my car in Sunway when I go there, Pyramid. And I've seen that particular spot there. I just didn't realize that it was actually, if I look into the numbers, it's really quite slow. So, but the idea is not to fully charge a car wherever you go. The idea is to give it enough juice that you sustain, that you don't have to worry about getting where you want to go at point of time and then going around places to charge often. So it's pretty much like the whole the right way to charge your smartphone lithium-ion batteries, to not let it discharge down to 0 and not always charge it up to 100. You keep it within 40-80. I think that's what lithium-ion goes. And it has the same concept because if 50 is the same type of battery, or for the most part the same, so it has got that same behavior and hence requires that same optimization because battery life is a big deal. Yeah, that's probably how it's going to be. So mindset change, hence breaking virginity.
So you, if you go to like all this like maybe Atria and everything, when you park, do you get compensation, or is it free parking, or how? Is there anything different
Given by the company or by the mall?
by the mall?
No,
Yeah,
so
you
you
get like-
still, so based on what I observe, I haven't done it before, but based on what I observe, I still have to go in. I mean, like on entry, they won't know that you are having an electric car, so you still go in, you still touch and go, whatever your what, credit card, whatever not lah. You still got to do all that, and then when so parking is still the same, as regardless whether you're driving an electric vehicle or not. And then on top of that, when you plug in to charge, you have to
Pay.
transact with that particular service provider. So Park Easy is one of the it has an app, and then it's like partnership with Shell, Recharge, and whatever else lah. So that's one. There are also a few other apps. I think once I get into the wider group, they will like advise what are the apps you should use or where are the go-to ones. So I'm getting there, but come Wednesday and then a few days after that, I should know more lah about.
I mean, this is like nothing to say how good of a Mercedes vehicle electric car is. I think it's a electric car in general. It's like the whole entire habit of driving and the way you look at like going the distance is gonna be framed differently simply because of the charging processes and everything. If like even you have a charger that's like 18 watt, you say you got to charge 16 hours. You practically don't have the car for 16 hours.
Yeah, so basically, I think the idea is to keep wherever you can charge, just charge. Same goes for, again, different people have different lifestyle lah. For me, I charge my phone whenever I can, whether I'm in the car or I'm sitting at my desk, I charge it. So with that, I rarely have an issue with low battery because I'm constantly charging my phone and of course not letting it go too far beyond 80%. So constant charging. So apparently, I mean, Eugene can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the recommended way to work with a lithium-ion battery lah. And so the same way lah, wherever you go, wherever you can charge, and on top of wherever I go, so my office also has got charging points for free for staff. So and also dedicated parking lots for company electric vehicles. So that's one thing good. Whenever I go to the office, I can do that, and anywhere else lah. So something that I have to keep in mind lah. I don't like assume that I can just go near zero and then go to a Shell station.
But the difference between your phone versus your car is that you have plug points everywhere in your house, in your office, wherever you go, and even power bank, right? Your car don't have that kind of access. It's not available? Like even like say, I mean, how many bays will there be? Say like at a shopping complex like
Available.
Sunway, and now
Have to book lor.
yeah, exactly right. And you get to book, huh? So you cannot like just walk in and it's like, oh, the bay is available, you just plug in and do it.
I
I
think
guess
you
you
could
can now
do
if it's no
that.
booking.
If you're not booking, correct? Yeah. So I actually so today I was at Sun Pyramid. Not just because I want to go and not purely to go and look at the charging station. I actually walked past I think it's 5 or 6 charge bays. Okay, from this Park Easy partnership with Shell Recharge. And I saw it was all full. Today, Merdeka, the whole mall is parking is crazy. So I managed to park. Luckily, I walked past and I saw, wow, it's all fully parked already. Then I was waiting at the lift. This is at the CP2 level. So the lift, you can see the car park and I can see the cars right there. And as I was waiting for the lift, I saw one car leave. So prior to that, I checked. Oh, okay. Park Easy, Sun Pyramid, fully occupied. And I saw one car leave. And then as the car left, after a few seconds, there's a little barrier on the floor, like a little stand thing. It came up, and then as it came up, I was like, I'm gonna check again. Available.
So it's very accurate in that sense.
I was there. I hope it's that one. I hope it's not another bay that I couldn't see. Going away lah. But I saw that like, oh okay, yeah. I just thought, it's there. Then I was like curious to press confirm because like it didn't really show like what price or how long whatever. It just showed that available and then let me press confirm. So like I'm gonna try, but then I don't know what will it get me to. So I don't know what happens after you press the confirm, and do you like secure there and then, or do you book ahead? Like, do you see a schedule? That's what I didn't know. Yeah.
And then to top that off, right? I mean, leaving it to charge is one thing. Say if you're going there for just a while or whatever. But if let's say you have the whole entire day planned, like, okay, I'm going to spend my whole entire day here in Sunway Pyramid. You in the morning you went for breakfast and then you go down to the skating rink with your kids for 2 hours. After that, you're going to celebrate lunch, birthday party, and then after that movie all the way to the night, and you're all parked.
Yep.
How?
Okay.
I think you need to move the car, right?
That's
You
what I
have to
intend
get out of your spot
Yeah.
and give it to somebody else.
So that's what I intend to do. But now I was told that from my colleagues you will be charged based. There are some places that they go to where you'll be charged based on the power output. Somehow they can measure, not charged based on the time, but it also because when I occupy that bay, I'm effectively paying Sunway's parking, and then I've also paid another amount for the charging. It's two different merchants, two different pay master or points of payment. So I guess if you are done charging, which I think you can monitor when you're in the mall and see what's the charging level or that I would think that if you don't want to just occupy the spot anymore, and if let's say occupying the spot and not charging when it's already at 100%, you can set stop at 80, stop at 100. I would think that if the system will still charge you for parking there and not charging, obviously you want to move away because else you're paying a lot more lah. So you move away and then let the bay empty. So I would intend to do that, but I'm not curious how does it work. Do all of these parking bays, do they charge based on time, or do they charge based on the charging throughput? The system that I saw, it says per hour. So that assumably is just time based on Park Easy. It's 230 per hour.
It's also interesting it would be interesting to see how this whole like logistics thing evolves as if say the take-up rate or like more and more people convert to like electric vehicles. So like for instance, if there are 10 available lots in like Sunway Pyramid, right? So at different stages of parking, some is of charging, some is 70%, some 1%, whatever. So the ones that top up quicker, so will the owners come and like move the cars to like free it up for someone who is waiting in line or booked it? What if you booked it and the guy doesn't move? Then
correct.
It's just going to be a bit of if everybody's driving an electric vehicle, every lot is charging, that's fine. But now when we're kind of like half like that, so then there's going to be Can you imagine a lot of fights?
Yeah, it's not even half. It's not even half.
Like,
But I mean, the fact that today when the shopping mall was full, the parking bays for the electric vehicles were also full. So
Yeah.
I mean, the ratio kind of works for that. It's not as if like, the whole mall is full and then the electric parking vehicle bay empty. So it's not that.
But it could be that it could be like, say there's 6 slots, right? Then all 6 slots have reached 100%, but the owners just didn't. Hey, I already have a lot. If I vacate that lot for the next person, I can't find another parking lot.
Yeah.
So
So
then
there's
they'd
not
be like,
concern.
hey, hang
Correct.
on. Then
Correct.
so you're waiting, and so that is part of the anxiety of like, if I can't charge my car. And then the other day
Yeah.
I saw on, was it on AliExpress? You can buy like a fake, like a stick on, like a charging port for your petrol car.
To park at the bay
You
for
go
the
park at the
oh
bay,
my-
then you can stick it in just to pretend that you're an electric vehicle.
That is so
But
not
it's to
cool.
go in. There has to be an orifice to go in. Otherwise, it's like coming out. It has to
Yeah,
be an
so
orifice.
it's just like a socket.
visual.
And you just stick a double-sided tape on the body of the car, and you just stick it in, and it looks like as though your car is plugged in.
Yeah, but it will be jutting out because there's no orifice that you can fit it in.
I mean,
And
yeah, like,
it's
it'll be jutting out lah. It'll be jutting out lah.
but people won't know as check go see like, oh
Yeah,
my
unless
god.
take a closer look, you know. So there was this
Scared.
guy,
Okay.
there's this car rental company in Singapore called Blue SG.
I
So
heard it, yes.
Blue SG. So then a few days ago, I saw someone posted. Someone had bought like a
A fake-
Toyota, I don't know what. Yeah, so he modified it a bit. It says Blur SG. Then he had this thing on the car, and he was parked in the lot. So it's
For the
it's
Blue
a petrol
SG
vehicle.
allocated.
Yeah.
At the
So, but at a
electric
glance,
vehicle. Okay.
it looks like Blue SG, but it was modified a bit a bit cheeky, like it says Blur SG. So then he had that thing. I assume from AliExpress. Then he stuck the charger in, and it got like a parking lah. So
Okay.
then people like, hey, this guy. But actually, I'm like,
Oh,
quite smart
yeah.
actually.
It's a fun thing to do. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll find out lah. I mean, I'm glad that I've got a few malls near where I am and also where I usually go to that has got this parking. And this list alone, this Park Easy, is not the only one. I'm very sure there are also other apps as well and other like place where I can find this or even book it. It's just not as comprehensive as Tesla lor. Tesla will have their own network lah. But I'm sure if you're driving a Tesla in Malaysia also, you will also have to piggyback on the other providers. Like just now at Sunway, I noticed there was like BMW, Mercedes-Benz. There was a lot of BYDs parked there. BYD Atto 3. So yeah, it's compatible lah, I guess.
So besides Tesla, the rest of the companies, the charging port compatibility, they are not the same.
I think Tesla. I remember Tesla has got its own standard, but they also have to make it work. Like make it there's like an adapter to make it work for the universal one. I gotta be honest, I don't really know exactly the different standards.
So Tesla is
Eugene,
like
you're muted. I
lightning
can't hear you.
cable.
Like a,
Oh, how come you are muted,
Yeah.
Eugene?
Yeah, still muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Now, yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say also that Singapore came up with this thing. where
Standard?
The plan is to phase out all. I'm quoting here. This is like verbatim from okay, what website is this? Okay, anyway, they said that they want to phase out all internal combustion engines and sell
By-
only electric vehicles by 2030.
That's not far
So I'm
away.
like, yeah,
6 years
because
away.
if I'm going to make trips back to KL, an electric vehicle will not work. Because when I arrive at wherever I'm going, if I say go to my parents' house, they don't have a charger there. And I'm not going to wait 18 hours to. It's not even 18 hours to charge out to the plug, right?
No, if you are using your home charger, unless you got some
It's like what,
super industrial
30
thing,
days.
30 days. No, I mean, okay, let's see. 3.7 kilowatt. Okay, you probably get that. Okay, I probably take 18 or 9 hours to charge fully at home. But you don't need to charge full. You just charge it whenever you're there, and just maintain a certain level. So I think at home you can get again the hours to charge is again depending on the battery size of the car. So some have got no bigger capacity, some have lesser capacity. But yeah, I think at home charge you can get easily 3.7 kilowatt, definitely 7 kilowatt. But any higher, I think it will be harder because of the residential limit on power supply, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what they're getting at, but in practical terms, it seems like it's going to be a big challenge actually.
I think it's not only just Singapore. I think many countries or even some companies, for their own products, they've like, by this, the date is usually somewhere between 2030 and 2050. It's somewhere between there one that the whole country or the whole company will only sell electric products. I think almost many of the developed nations have already, like I think Silicon Valley also, like this part of Silicon Valley has also what's the word, promised or whatever, to Isan also by a certain time. So it's all the fat, it's all the rage lah, I think.
Yeah, not to drag this topic out any further, but yeah, all I think a lot of car companies are also seeing electric vehicles as like the next thing, and that's like what their shareholders want to hear. So they're all trying to like jump on the bandwagon, but practically speaking,
Then on the other hand, you got all these
hurdles,
you got all these videos about making electric vehicles, and the battery production is even worse than fossil fuel.
No, it's even more interesting than that, because it's like this vision of like converting getting rid of all all petrol combustion engines and
independence
replacing
of
with electric
fossil
vehicles.
fuel.
It's like what I heard is that there isn't even enough like copper, or isn't even enough like lithium in
Cobalts
the
or
world
yeah.
to do that. So yeah, it's kind of a pipe dream where you say, that's what we want to do, but in terms of raw materials, there isn't even enough to go around to do it. So to what end? Everybody says this is what they want, but if you look at like the supply chain kind of thing, so it's not what I heard is that it's not possible, and so that's like all these questions which need to be answered by the experts now.
I think in the same way how people were looking for alternatives to fossil fuel, they were looking at hydrogen cell. You just use water and then you can run your car. The same goes for the dependency on cobalts and lithium and all those things. Of course, you can recycle, but obviously recycling has got some percentage loss lah. They're also looking into other alternative and readily available materials for batteries. I think there's some carbon based material.
Salt.
Was it? Not salt.
I heard that there's a salt-based one that
there
we
is,
hear this
but
once in a while.
yeah. So they try to find something that you can also make batteries using this. I forgot. There's one term that I heard recently. I forgot which one. But again, so same lah. But as long as they've been trying to make hydrogen cell work or whatever other alternatives to fossil fuel, not batteries, but then some other chemical. They will also be doing the same thing for batteries, some other material that will be non-dependent on something that is relying on what's available in a limited amount on Earth, whether it's fossil fuel or cobalt or nickel or lithium, like that. So that's
Have you guys heard of this show? It's a reality show, so to speak. It's called A Long Way Round. Have you heard about it?
Nope.
So basically, it's Ewan McGregor and his good friend Charlie Borman. They took two petrol motorcycles, and they decided.
Sounds like what he would do.
They decided to ride from London, ride one round, ride through like Eastern Europe, ride through like Mongolia, ride through like Russia, and then connect over to Alaska, then ride back up to New York. So that's one round
to
around
New
the
York.
globe. Yeah, basically one round around the globe on motorbikes lah.
Can you go to New York
from Alaska?
So basically,
it's north.
from Alaska,
Alaska
you just
crab.
on land
Oh my
all the
god.
way
Okay.
lah.
Okay. Oh
Yeah,
my
so
god.
So this is an old show. He did it in like the early 2000s.
It's on Apple TV.
He
So
did
it's
it.
called-
He actually did it. Okay.
It's called Long Way Round. I think it's on Apple TV. lah.
It's on Apple TV.
And
yeah.
then he did another one. He did another one called Long Way. Yeah, so it is Long Way
Around
Round.
again.
Then he did Long Way
Long
Down.
way.
So Long Way Down is from the tip of the United Kingdom down to like the Horn of Africa. So that's Long Way Down. Again using petrol motorcycles. Then they said, we got to do Long Way Up, which is
Go
from
through
the
the
tip
Arctic.
of like Patagonia, like Argentina there, right all the way up to North America or Canada or whatever lah. But the thing is that when they did long way up, they said we got to use electric motorbikes. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So from a show being about the adventure, suddenly it became about where are they going to charge their motorcycles next? And it was so boring.
Oh,
like,
okay.
They were riding through like these like very, very like remote
Remote,
towns
yeah.
in like Patagonia, in like Argentina, where there's like not much like electric plugs on. And then they would say, oh, we got to prove that this is like the
After all these years, the Monopoly machine's battery clunked out.
right charge it then.
Monopoly machine.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, the
Yeah,
Monopoly
yeah.
machine.
Yeah. So what was I saying? What was I saying so passionately?
Up up north, and then battery and,
Yeah, I
and
was
remote
saying that
areas.
From long way round being fully petrol based and long way up being long way down being fully petrol based, it was kind of like quite an excellent adventure lah. Because you talk about the scenery, then you just fill up with gas and you go lah. So suddenly, but long way up, they decide, oh no, we got to do it electric because we got to make a stand or make a statement or whatever. But
Okay.
then when the whole show became about charging the silly bikes, and I'm like, this is really boring. So then not only that, the support vehicles were also electric vehicles.
Right.
Daddy, do you have any shopper?
I did see this on TikTok, right? There is a company that's in China. And the way they do it is like they treat their charging station, not a charging station, but a battery replacement station. So literally, yeah, it's a shop. Maybe on the
Sorry, I meant swap.
any
Swapping.
anytime you have batteries all fully charged, all you do is you drive your vehicle in, it takes your battery out and then replace it with the charged battery straight away. So the whole entire process, it is certainly maybe slightly slower than the petrol pump of a full tank, but somewhere around 5 to 10 minutes per swap, and then the vehicle will then leave with the new charged batteries. And I don't know, that
Yep.
sounds viable.
Yeah, so that approach, and this is by the company called NIO in China, and I think they're not doing so well recently. I don't know why, I haven't looked into it recently, but the whole idea of battery swapping, NIO are the ones who are actually doing it for some time already. I know people who actually drive NIOs in Beijing, lah, but I've not seen the car
Really?
before. Lah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and actually, it's quite, this guy who I spoke to is a colleague in Beijing. He got a NIO, and then the NIO has got this like a smart assistant on the dashboard in front. It's like a little dome, black colored dome with eyes, and then like emotional. It can display emotions when it communicates lah. But it's like a half dome, black dome. This guy I knew, and this is at the time when we were all playing PUBG. This guy I knew went and put that PUBG helmet over there. Like, hey, I know. He took a picture of it, and then like, hey, the PUBG, the tier 3 helmet. What's it called again? I forgot.
Level 3 helmet.
Level 3 helmet lah. Yeah, so you put it there. But so I was going to say this battery swapping thing apparently was reported that it was something that Tesla did think about, but they tried and then they decided not to do it. I don't know what's the rationale behind it lah. So it's not like NIO are the only ones who have tried and doing it lah. So that's one thing. The second thing is obviously it changes the game with charging, because you're not even charging, you're just swapping the battery. It's almost like one shot get fresh batteries. Two, it eliminates the whole concern about, oh, I've got another battery I got a battery as a part in my car, the battery will deteriorate, and it's another concern about the lifespan, and then when I need to pay a lot of money to change the battery. But the way that NIO is doing it is not just that they are swapping the batteries. The battery in your car doesn't even belong to you. It's a subscription. It's a service that the company owns the battery. You just use it to fuel the car that we make for you, and then you pay us for a certain, I guess like it's a monthly thing, or it's bundled in, correct? And then you keep getting a fresh battery. Yeah, it's actually nice, but I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure the industry knows about it. Not many, very few are actually doing the approach. But of course, the other thing also is that you have to invest a lot in the battery swap locations, and it probably costs a lot more than a setting up a DC supercharger, which is already not a lot of money. So different costs.
You get the advantage of like topping up your fuel at the gas station, and you don't get the downside
Ownership
of
the
having
battery
to
thing,
maintain something that deteriorates.
which is always a
And
concern.
And at the same time,
That sounds kind of
once
perfect actually.
and if the batteries are like on the low performance and all, it is a central station to collect them, recycle them, repurpose them, and redo
Yep.
the battery.
It
Sounds
definitely
perfect.
makes for very good battery life
sounds
cycle
kinda
management.
perfect, actually.
Definitely,
But-
But the cost of how many can you build all these like battery swapping
And
places
also, if you
and
say because the size of the batteries presumably have to be standardized, right? So that
Yeah.
they can,
Well, it's their
and
company
the cars
lah,
need
yeah.
to be able to receive it, lah. So if say
Yes.
like Tesla wants to like build their batteries like as flat as
Differently.
possible underneath like the chassis, right? You can't do that,
yeah,
lah.
I think that's another
So
one whereby there has a lot of
design and
hindrances to the
compromise.
standards.
It
Correct,
is.
correct.
I mean, on the smaller scale, let's scale it back to our phone. For Apple to listen to not use Lightning port,
EU.
yeah, it has
The EU
some
thing was
sort of a
already,
big legislation on the legislative side of government to actually enforce this kind of rule to happen. So can you imagine like trying to have all these brands in a whole entire just on the same
Industry.
table to talk about this and hey, let's use this standard. And what will happen if you do that is that one company will be slower than another. The fast one will want to go faster. They want to have more charge. They want to have they can retain more. They can go further, that kind of thing. While the other one with minimal resources wouldn't have that kind of competitive edge to actually keep up with that kind of battery tech or whatsoever. Standards, even like coming out to USB, Thunderbolt, and all these kind of specifications is like quite a big deal, right? And it's so difficult to actually get everyone on the same table to agree on all this kind of shit. So it's tough.
That's true.
Yep.
Getting all the industry players to agree, that's tough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the USB-C thing is like the perfect analogy actually.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
that is the one that's already happening. And we will see definitely like for a fact
September 12th.
in less than 2 weeks' time. But did we talk about this like in the previous episode, whereby the other legislation that the EU is making is that all devices that carry a battery need to be easily replaceable by standard tools by any layman.
So it's literally right. All these legislative things that's playing out on the phone, right? Essentially, it's portable to a
Going
bigger
to-
scale, like a car. You get what I mean?
Well, car companies are calling the car not a car. It is a gadget, with all the head unit and whatever thing. I mean, it's a gadget that can move you places. I mean, this is how they're trying to rebrand the car.
Oh.
No, it's not anymore the car, because the car is already a given. It's a gadget, and also then you got battery and then services, and it's a channel to sell. Or they're trying to upsell and cross-sell stuff as well. lah.
So just to reiterate, the idea of it being expensive to come up with, say, the station to replace the batteries and stuff like that.
Swap
to
batteries,
swap the
yep.
batteries.
Mhm.
I don't think so. Look at it as a new modern Shell or a Petronas or a petrol station. Instead of like carrying oil, you are carrying battery cells. And why would it be that expensive to actually build it up? In a sense, it's the same
That's
as
true,
just
true.
doing the same thing.
Political
true.
barrier, lah.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
political
true.
barrier, lah, because a lot of these like oil companies have a lot of sway with like governments.
That's one thing, and that's
Yeah.
possibly the
Pa-
documentary about in the
Petronas make how
1990s
much for
Ford's
government,
electric
so-
car,
oh.
that got killed.
Not even that. Even the findings
remember
about
that.
fuel.
The Volt,
Even the
was it? Was it the Ford Volt?
Don't know.
Sounds familiar.
Apparently, in 1990s,
Chevy.
Ford,
Chevy's Volt is Chevy. Volt is Chevy, but then Ford is another name
Ford?
maybe.
Oh, did they have one?
they had
a Chevy
an electric
Volt, not a
car.
Ford, no.
They were having this development of electric car, and then all the gas company went and lobbied off the whole entire idea, and then they kill it off. And that was in 1990s. Apparently,
That sounds familiar.
yeah.
That sounds
So there was a documentary that I remember watching, and they were talking about it. So yeah,
interesting.
Hey, so check it out. I just googled how much does it cost for Neo to set up a battery swap station. Just quick. Okay, Inside EV. Okay, that's a quite reliable site. InsideEV.com. 500K, which actually this I guess USD lah. Not
It's
a
not
lot
a
actually.
lot.
And then I went and checked how much the petrol station costs in Malaysia. 3 to 4 million for the
Yeah, it's not a
building.
lot.
550 K for working capital. Blah blah blah. So it's cheaper than the petrol station.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, you have a big underground of cells that's going around in sort of like an Amazon kind of
Underground. Like
yeah,
a
all the
real
cell
network.
underground. No, you see, you drive your car there, right? So at the petrol bay, or rather the cell bay, what happened is that underneath comes out, take the battery off, and then in underground there's a lot of like
yeah.
movement, and then the new
Storage
cell just
and whatever
goes,
lah. Yeah,
goes
yeah,
up
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. That will be expensive lah. That would be cool actually.
No, I think you don't need to make it underground so much. You just basically have a terminal to like swap it, and then just storage. You don't have to have a network underground because I mean, who wants to dig underground so much? You just swap it, and then you have your inventory managed on the ground. It's okay, or even just like a storage or whatever else, just to leave it around lah. So, one mechanism to just do the swap and then store it lah. Yeah. I mean, actually, yeah. Cost okay. So probably more political and more political lah.
I think it's much more legislative lah. It's like EU coming together and say, you know what, all you manufacturers, you want to sell your phones over here in EU, you got to have everything Thunderbolt or rather USB-C.
USB-C by
USB-C.
2024.
Yeah, and then you got to have swappable batteries no matter what.
Speaking of like interesting legislations, okay, this may not be actual legislation lah, but have you guys ever noticed that in Malaysia, when you want to drive you want to put petrol, right? So when you turn off to the left for a petrol station, usually sometimes there are several brands of petrol.
Mhm.
Could be Shell, could be Petronas, could be like
Yeah.
Petron.
Especially on the highway, it's very obvious.
Have you guys ever noticed that Shell
And
never
Petronas.
comes before Petronas one? In the order, it's always Petronas first.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was told that
So
wherever
yeah,
Shell
so
goes,
this was-
Petronas goes and put in front of it. So
yeah.
like that.
So okay, so it's not. So you've heard about it. So
Yes.
So yeah. So this was something that I heard lah. Then when I started, yeah, actually,
Yeah.
So it's always Petronas first one, then only Shell. So
Mm.
Petronas always must come before all the other brands. So this is assuming it's a multi-brand like stop lah. If it's just one stop, then okay lah. But if it's a multi-brand stop, especially on the highway, it's
No,
usually a
yeah.
Petronas first.
Actually, on the highway, yes. So right near my house over here, and SS5 is me, SS4 is across there. There's a Petronas and a Shell side by side, but the road is a residential road, so it goes two ways. So if you come from the main road, Petronas is first. You come from the housing area,
loophole.
Shell is first. And actually, because the it's actually on the. Well, if you come from the main roads, you have to turn right into the two stations. So you're actually crossing over. Whereas if you come from the housing area, you are just swerving into the left. So Shell is a easier access compared to Petronas is a cut over. But again, it's just basically the idea. I know that wherever Shell goes, Petronas goes. It's like.
So apparently this was an agreement that they had lah.
Oh, is it the agreement? I thought it's kind of like a weird
Agreement that they had.
competitive thing. Oh, okay.
No. It was in what I heard lah. Again,
Okay.
I don't
Because
really have any
you
proof for
were
it.
Shell staff before, so you should know. Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm not surprised.
yeah.
I mean, if you're Malaysian, right? You're gonna try to put Petronas in front of the rest of the people.
Yeah.
But they follow
suppose.
Shell. They follow Shell.
I mean, so what happened was that they asked Shell like in the early 1900s, right, to come and like help to like not excavate, to explore and to like get it out lah. But then
Right,
after that,
right.
then they formed Petronas.
Mm.
So it was a partnership lah, and so yeah lor.
Interesting.
The partnership now that they will go together wherever they want to go, like
I
set
think
up
because Malaysia didn't have the expertise or the tech
at the
to
early
do it,
years.
mah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so then they also came. So Shell came to like Malaysia and Singapore lah to do it lah. And of course they had an agreement lah on how to like share it and all that lah.
It's funny. So like you go look for petrol stations and then you will see green color Petronas. Then you will see yellow Shell, and then you put together you get yellow and green. That's BP, but now BP no more already lah. So yeah, BP is out already.
Oh
Yeah, BP is
man,
out. It's
BP,
gone.
my goodness, forgot
BP.
about that. Yeah,
BP,
yeah.
British Petroleum. But the it's not the same, right? BHP is like
Different, it's
boosted.
different.
Yeah, it's different. It's not a same company.
different, yeah.
Although BHP did
They
seem
did
to
buy
take
over
They
over.
the-
took over all the
asset, yeah.
BP stations.
Then Esso was Petron, right? Esso Petron.
Exxon Mobil, it was
ExxonMobil,
Exxon
yeah.
became
Petron.
Exxon Mobil, and then
Esso, and then Petron,
Malaysia
right?
got sold to Petron, I think. All
Yeah.
the assets got sold to Petron.
Petron, yeah, something that's the thing. But then BP and ExxonMobil are still. I mean, the corporate or the shell services are still in Malaysia lah. I mean, ExxonMobil used to be one of the biggest employers. Probably is
Do I
still
see
is one.
BP? Do I see BP here in Singapore? I think I
It's
don't
quite
see BP.
Malaysia one
Honestly,
is quite new. The setup here is quite new. I said new or rather they
No lah,
expanded.
quite long already. Exxon in
No,
ExxonMobil.
BP.
Oh.
The BP
BP.
shell service. ExxonMobil very long and still like I mean
It's in KLCC.
our industries our friends will not are they
Next to
still there?
KLCC. Yeah. Well, at least I know the previous
That's
time
Exxon,
it was
right?
there. Yeah,
There's
forever.
Exxon.
Petronas last time Petronas cleared out Tower 1 and 2 because for their own partners and all that because of they needed space. Even Accenture, Oracle all left. What?
No.
So,
I'm
maybe
not
it's
saying
there.
KLCC. It's just next to it,
Oh yeah,
it's
their own
one
tower.
of the
Yeah.
it's
Their
one
own
of
tower.
in the Lingkaran
right?
whatever
There's a
that area.
ExxonMobil building.
Tower.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
their own
it's an
tower.
Exxon
Correct.
there,
Yeah. So they're still there lah. Yeah. But yeah, the BP's shell service is in Bangsar South. I mean, my wife has clients
That's
there.
new.
Just
That's
yeah.
new.
So Bangsar South. So maybe there was someone else before, smaller, but then they are quite new and expanding lah. I guess in Bangsar South.
Shell has of course moved to Bangalore lah. So
IT?
That's IT. Yeah. So last time it used to be in Cyberjaya mah. And then after
Yeah.
that, they moved.
Oh,
to
there's IT lah. With the other
IT
like
lah, IT
like
lah,
the Shell house and the Shell new building in
It's still there.
Central.
It's
It's a
still
huge
there.
central building right now. KL Central is a huge Shell building. But not
there?
only IT lah. Yeah. Their own building. Came up probably in the last 10 years. It's not too old.
Obviously, yeah, I didn't keep up to date lah with that, but yeah.
Well, I really like today's conversation. It's like there's so much more, so much insight into electric cars and our understanding of like how it works and it doesn't work and how the lifestyle going to change and everything. Well, I hope it was something of interest of you guys actually listening in. And we talk about the same freaking topic and we didn't even do anything like this.
I know.
Because it's the same
I
topic.
was
It's the same topic. Yeah, it just kept going.
I know.
It kept
I
going.
was like a bit worried that I was like be kicking this dead horse like a bit too much.
Yeah, but then again, when
It's still
when
fresh.
you went over there, right, and then suddenly a new topic that's surrounding it that is actually quite interesting to me, and rather important. So, like suddenly
And
I
then-
I talk about changing the batteries, like in the station. That one that I think that's quite.
Yeah, I also
interesting
remember.
topic,
Yeah. Correct.
Well, it's been an hour since we went live, and do you guys want to continue or you guys want to wrap up?
We can do a bit more, I guess.
Okay, then next
Okay.
topic.
Next
Oh,
topic.
wait, just now we
will
were-
be-
So this happens a lot with this happens a lot when we talk. It tends to kind of it gets a life of its own and just kind of like carries on.
But that's
So
the
what-
magic of it, I think sometimes.
Yeah. So what did we say we were going to talk about?
The
Was it
election.
Apple thing?
In the election.
Oh, the election.
The election.
Singapore?
that's,
Okay.
happened. So I want to ask because I
Don't know
don't
very much,
understand
yeah.
much of Singapore political stance in terms of.
We're
like,
not going to answer here.
I'm not sure because
I'm not.
well, it's gonna be quite generic, really. Why is there a president when there's a
Okay.
prime minister?
No, maybe you can answer this. Can he? You know.
I should know this, but I actually don't. So yeah, I'm. This comes up once every 5 years,
Uh huh.
and and I understood it last time, but I forgot.
Because
So
like
let's just Google it. Why is there a president?
one of your candidate, right? Why I thought of asking this question is because the candidate came out and said that, oh, you know how there are countries like in the Britain where they have the monarch, the monarch
Yeah.
that stand in and then they take care of their rakyat jelata
one
or
guy
their
said
people
that,
and
yeah.
everything, right? I want to be that person. And I
Rakyat
was like,
jelata.
he wants to be that person to take care of the people. I was like, that doesn't make sense. But so then yes, president.
Okay.
I don't know what's the role of a president in Singapore really.
Let me see. According to the Straits Times, the president is the head of state and the symbol of national unity and presides over important national events such as National Day Parade and the opening of Parliament. Okay. The president also exercises custodial powers as conferred by the Constitution. Okay. The president stands above party politics and therefore cannot be a member of a political party.
That sounds like
Okay.
a monarch.
Oh,
Also, okay, but
okay.
that still doesn't really understand why though. Like, who started it?
The difference is between monarch and that is elected. Whatever he said makes sense, actually.
That sounds like a good way to go about. Elected monarch. Wow, that's a term. Elected monarch.
I mean, the president does stay in a building called the Istana lah, here in Singapore. So it's not too much of a stretch.
I
I heard
don't
about
know
that.
about you
I heard
guys
about that.
calling buildings Istana and all this kind of thing when you know the
Why?
beef that I always talk about in Orchard Road. You have your Wisma Atria and everybody in Singapore refer to the place as Wisma.
Also Wisma. Yeah.
That's like why you calling the building, you know?
yeah.
So if
I'm
you
like, it's weird. Why? Yeah. So when I noticed this as well. So when I say Atria, people are like, where's that? I'm like, so they don't understand what Wisma means, and so it's like
So if
Wisma Semantan, it's like you call it Semantan lah, not like Wisma.
a king stays in a castle, a king stays in a what you call
Palace.
palace
Istana.
istana. That's literally a translation, not a president.
Yeah, it's like the Padang. So Padang
Padang.
it's a field. So they call it I mean, it's not wrong. It's just that it's a bit too on the nose lah. It's like
Too literal.
yeah.
The place is called the
it's like
Padang.
if Tesla comes out with a car called the car,
The car.
this is Tesla the car. And Ferrari did that. And they call it Ferrari Le Ferrari. So it's called
The D Ferrari. That
There was
makes
a-
sense.
there
Le
was a-
Ferrari.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
there
so
was a
it's
there was
kind
a
of the
there was a
same thing, so it's a
there
bit
was
too
a
on the
Ford
nose.
there was a Ford car, a Ford KA,
No, it feels like if you
very
okay.
small
like-
one.
So
Yeah,
it feels like this, okay? I'm Ferrari, okay? I come up with this exquisite model, oh very nice. And then I come up with another car, oh very nice, another model, oh, and then car number C is also very nice. But you know what? I came up with so many cars. I think this is the ultimate car, Le Ferrari. That's how it came about. I mean, I don't
Okay,
think the Padang
okay.
was like that. And the fact that Wisma Atria has a bloody name, you don't call it a building?
Right. Yeah. So,
So-
I guess there's a bit of like a linguistic.
is it
it's
the
a
only
linguistic,
Wisma in-
like challenge here lah? So okay.
Is it the only or one of few Wismas in Singapore?
It's the only one I know lah.
I mean, like any other buildings go
There's
by the
no-
moniker Wisma
There's no
in
Wisma
Singapore?
Ion. There's no Wisma Orchard Ion. There's no like
Uh-huh.
Wisma.
Yeah, because Wisma is probably more common in Malaysia than in
Wisma
Singapore,
Dot
lah.
M
You know.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
So, yeah.
being
There you go.
Malaysia and Bahasa Malaysia, right? Wisma is
Actually-
Bahasa Malaysia.
Actually, you know what? I also wonder why did my company's new building as of 2016, why they call it Wisma Mercedes-Benz? Is it to make it localized or just some? I mean, like if I had a choice, if there was no need for me to have to use Wisma, I would choose to
Complex.
use it a different. Well, not complex. I guess that's a bit more just like something. No, maybe. But then Wisma, okay, Wisma, I guess is colloquial. But I would
Bangunan.
like to have called it something else. No lah, Bangunan sounds
Menara.
like this is even more. Well, Menara
So
will
his
be the
house.
equivalent to
It's like
tower,
his house.
well, a house or something. Yeah, something that has got a bit of like a both sounds local, sounds familiar enough, but also a bit of something more fancy lah than Wisma. So
Shell
maybe
house.
before you know, yeah, exactly. Shell House has got the name as well.
Okay,
So we
okay.
can call it Mercedes-Benz House of a HAUS.
Pull back. We
Right,
are very
right,
far
right,
away
sorry.
from that conversation of.
Off topic.
So the president,
President.
is literally, if you put
Wisma's
it in a
fault.
lot of ways, is really a elected monarch per
Monarch.
se, in a role of
Sort
like
of, I guess.
to show
When
that
you- yeah.
the head of Singapore and do all the I don't know ceremonial
Ceremonial.
part of all those things that's happening in Singapore, whereas then the prime minister has all the time to actually be running the country.
Yeah, and if you say go to like the schools or you go to like a government office, you see a picture of the president there with the wife.
Like our rulers,
So-
our Agong and Sultans.
Yeah, so like like when you go to like the US embassy, you see a picture of Biden, and you know.
But it's different feeling though. Like for instance, right? You've been talking about say because our monarchy, right? There is a sense of respect that these are the Raja
Elite.
Melayu here that they rule the country, they rule the states, that kind of thing.
Sure.
No, they rule. Basically, they are the head of the country, not the government. The head of country, and there's a sense of respect because of they are generational generation passed down, that kind of thing. When it's elected, you lose that kind of maybe it's just a way of like how we are grown up and think of monarch. But when it's elected kind of president over there, it doesn't carry that kind of like symbol of a monarch per se.
You know. So I get that, but that's I don't know when it started, but that's what they do here, lah. So that's a good question. When did it start? Who was the first president, and who decided that let's have a president?
I did browse through it. The first president and the current president is actually Malays. Yusof Ishak is the first president, and then the current one is a Malay lady. Some more
So the guy
Halimah
on
Yaakob.
the guy on the whose face is on the money, Singapore money, that's the first president.
He looks like any other sultan in Malaysia or Agong in Malaysia. Yeah, the face, the way he's dressed up in Wikipedia. So like not bad. The first and the current one is Malays, and the current one like is a woman.
Right.
So,
I mean, incidentally, his face is on the bills, lah.
Eh? I thought the Singapore one is like I thought it's the Angmo guy.
No, it's Yusof Ishak.
So the
Oh,
dude,
sure, he looks Angmo.
the dude that's campaigning and saying all this stuff about him
Oh,
being
yeah, it's
elected
him.
and become the face of like Singapore and everything is actually true. It sounds a little bit.
I guess.
It sounds a little bit. I don't know. It's like, what is he trying to say? That kind of thing.
Maybe because it came from him, lah. So he also has he has said a few things that are a bit edgy, lah. So yeah. So I guess it's because it's from him, lah.
So for this kind of election, right? How's the sentiment in Singapore? Is that everybody like, oh, this is really important and really go out and vote and be proud of that thing that we do with the finger. I still have that bloody stain.
It's the same kind of like sentiments that you get during the GE, during the general elections. So, but I think enough people still seem to. I mean, it's mandatory to vote, like you have to vote here.
Oh, it's
So I
mandatory.
think
So if you
it's
don't, then what
mandatory.
happens?
You must. I think there's a fine or something like that.
Oh,
So,
okay.
It's
Oh, I never knew
mandatory.
that.
And so when you vote, then I suppose if it's mandatory, then everybody kind of like
Have to make
goes
a
along
decision,
with-
lah.
I mean, it is important for them. So okay, I get it. So, but it's a different kind of like vibe lah compared to like GE.
But
So
it's
GE is
funny,
still
you know,
different lah.
when you make a vote mandatory, it also takes off the sentiment of like, I choose not to vote. You know, it's also a signal in terms of like selecting.
I
you
don't
know,
agree
p-
with
p-
the options.
Yeah, I don't agree. You know,
Kind of
also
like-
a kind of signal. If you have a mandatory
Yeah.
voting, you take away that
Right.
signal in some
Yeah, I
ways.
guess they don't have that here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, different country, different
Okay.
way of life, I guess.
You know what? Speaking of Yusof Ishak, whose face is on the Singapore banknotes. So today's lesson for me is that looking at, I mean, all this while looking at the Singapore notes and seeing the guy's face. So obviously he's not like donning the Sultan Agong garb like how we have in our Malaysia banknotes. I've always thought that the guy in the Singapore dollar note is Ang Mo, because he has a mustache and then he looked like James Bond.
The high nose bridge.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly. So that, and also, I mean, just the look of it, like I take a brief at it. I'm like John, like look at the Singapore note. Do you see the guy as a Malay guy dressed with a curly pop hairstyle, and then
look like a poor painting of him though. But yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, he does kind of look Ang Mo. He does kind of look Ang Mo.
So not like, it's actually a Malay elected. Well, not sure where the first president was elected lah, but it's a Malay president.
This fella?
Something new. Yes.
Yep.
Take a glance at him. Do you think he's a Malay guy?
No, he doesn't look Malay.
Mm-hmm. Is him Yusof Ishak?
You can read his name there though. So
I mean, who has read all the? I mean, like if I'm not in the country, I didn't read the notes or know the names of that. So just a glance in there. Oh, that guy said, yeah, I know he's a Singapore guy, and then assumingly Singapore. Yeah, if I was to be a very unlearned person, I'll say, oh yeah, isn't that Raffles on the Singapore dollar note? I mean, like just to think, like just to relate an Ang Mo guy who's famous in Singapore, and then that right? I mean, just being semi-learned. Yusof Ishak, okay, thank you. Now I've stand corrected, learned something new. Thank you. General knowledge.
Thank you, podcast.
+1. Thank you, podcast. Thank you.
All these random ramblings.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
man.
ask wife later. Hey, the guy on the Singapore dollar, do you remember? Do you know who's he? Is it an Ang Mo guy or I want to test my theory?
But here's the deal.
Not just me.
Here's the deal about studying, say, all these for us, general public, we don't really care when we have it or we see the value, it's $10, that kind of thing, right? But for what's worth, if you're a leader of the world, when USD is such a the currency of the world per se, $100 is Benjamin Franklin and all this kind of shit.
The Benjamins and the George Washingtons.
Yeah, you know it better, huh? Popularity, I guess.
George Washington is $1, right?
Josh is 1, Ben is 100, and then
Alexander
I
Hamilton
forgot.
is 10.
See, you guys even know.
The one, the
At
long
least
hair
more.
one, long hair one, right? Long hair.
It's from the musical, man. Did he have long hair? I think he had long hair.
No, but on the note, is it the long hair one? Is it the one 10? I don't know.
$10 founding father without a father. I've heard it many times.
Okay. Oh,
That's
a wrap.
We should wrap it up because from a political
going
thing,
on for
we're trying to
close to-
understand how the presidential works in Singapore to, I don't know, we talk about other things. But with my
to stereotyping a guy who I think looks Ang Mo but actually is a Malay fellow on the Singapore dollar note.
Yeah, man. Well, I hope you guys are entertained for this episode and join us live if you're possible. We record this supposedly Tuesday, but it didn't happen for us this time around. Became Thursday. But thank you for downloading our Spotify podcast and also our Apple Music podcast. And if you enjoy listening to us, do subscribe and see you guys next week. Perhaps next week I'm still around. Yeah. But there'll be a lot more traveling for me myself. But yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. See you guys. Take care. Have a good day, good evening, good night.
Until next week. Bye-bye.